Unfortunately, SONICPHOBIA has more fanfics, and I'm going to read them. Why? Because I don't like SONICPHOBIA. Okay, so I'm just pulling it up right quick because I don't think I downloaded it and it something Grace sent me. So I'll go ahead and download that real quick. Okay. Switch to the Shiten. Whoops. Wrong one. Uh, as you can see, I'm kind of tired. So I might hit the wrong screen by mistake. Built to ass time. Yes. There we go. Hang on, right. Let's also put on some royalty-free music. Yeah. Can't hear me. I am quiet. Yeah, so I figured out the problem with the audio. So let me just turn the mic up. Because I thought that just turning the volume of whatever media I was watching down would fix my audio problem. It did not. When I look back at the VOD, I was still kind of droned out. So, to fix that, I'm going to turn it down on OBS itself. Turn down the desktop audio and turn my mic up. Yeah, I'll try turning that all the way up. And okay, how's it going? Okay, so let's find some royalty-free background music. I guess I could just throw this one back on.
You don't need 4 years to train for a career.
Okay, this right here is Deaf and Autism. 261 is... hopefully 45 is fine because I don't want really crazy feedback. Okay, how's this? Okay, alright. Now let's get into this bullshit. Because as I was saying, if it's structured the same way Rest and Cheesecake was, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Where was it? Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 2, Chapter 5. Ugh. Okay, summary. As a child, I got invited to a party. Fun, right? Except the host was an undead ghost bird. You don't need undead and ghosts in the same sentence, but I will allow this. And the entry fee is my debt. Hold on to your seats. This is a wild, thrill-seeking, terrifying, emotional roller coaster. Will I live, or is death knocking at my doorstep? Read on and find out. This takes place in reality. Yes, the one you are reading right now. Oh, hey Dawn. Before I forget, I will definitely need to show this off. So, I opened up a SONICPHOBIA section in my server. And here's SONICPHOBIA talking out about their block list on Tumblr. It says, the people blocked here are either anti-Semitic, stalking me, and Heathen No Rowney spelled my tag wrong. Well, me and Heathen's tag wrong. Actively sexually harassed me on both stream and Twitter. Draw Jesse is Doodles Jen, who has stalked me and harassed me almost to suicide. I never harassed SONICPHOBIA. I harassed Curious Alien. As you can see here, Alien Curious 1. So, are you admitting to being Curious Alien, Sonic? I take that as an admittance. This doesn't look like harassment on stream to you, to me. And as you can see, this is Gray's stream. This Heathen over Rowney? Rowney, however the fuck you say it. This is not me. This? It's the actual Heathen meat server. So, you tried to block me, which, up until yesterday, I didn't have a Tumblr for Shiten, because I just randomly opened one just to mess with MB Critical, or Critical MB, whichever one is bothering Truly. You blocked this account, which is the real Heathen. Try to block me. Good job, SONICPHOBIA. You dope. And here you see that SONICPHOBIA tried changing their name yet again because they think that's doing something. And I did eventually remember my old Tumblr, because I used to run a manga server and I made a bunch of brand accounts on different platforms for it. That thing fell apart, but I did remember the Tumblr for it, so I sneakily said that Heaton over Rowdy account is the real Heaton Mitsuru. Shiten Shitsuru doesn't have Tumblr. And SONICPHOBIA just took it at face value. Like, how would you not know? Like, why would you not be suspicious that this person knows what Shiten Shitsuru has and doesn't have? How would you not know? How would you not be suspicious? Is this fanfics on Straw page? Oh my god, what a dope. But yeah, SONICPHOBIA just took what I said at face value and not even thinking about fact checking it. How would this no-name account know what Shiten Shitsuru has and doesn't have? Yeah, I just wanted to show that because I found that funny. Alright, let's read this. Oh my god, an actual chapter name. Thank you. Thank you, Sonic. You gave us an actual chapter name. Plus, they give you a very good idea of what is going on in the main character's mind. I was 5 years old when my deadly monster under my bed appeared. I was about to fall asleep when I heard a fruity voice laughing, almost maniacally. I feel feathers brushing against my face. Past tense should be felt. I curl up tightly. There should be an ED, but I will let this slide. I curl up tightly under my weighted blanket, whimpering that I hear that fruity voice condescending me. Trying to hide from your host, are we? Well, that's not very nice. The party starts soon and you are not dressed. Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo 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 hoo. I will pick out a delightful party
Are your
outfit and
daydreams
death
filled
for
with
you.
sunshine and a certain je ne sais quoi? The French Riviera is calling. Protect your European vacation with Allianz Travel Insurance to help you answer travel challenges with a nonchalant c'est la
It's
vie.
not gonna give me a skip ad. That's fucking gay. I will pick out a delightful party outfit and death for you. I feel talons grabbing me. Yeah, why would he be in the room? Exactly. Because doesn't you have to die before you meet him? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to die before you meet the owl. I feel talons grabbing me, and I gaze into a face that seems to come out of a cartoonish hell. I see a pair of orange, swirling, glowing eyes gazing into my soul. I awaken from my nightmare with a start, my heart beating really fast in my chest. I'm 23 years old. I'm much too old to have a monster under my bed. I remind myself harshly, tugging a stubborn strand of my hair out my face. I get out of bed groaning. I wash my face, my short brown hair in a really messy high ponytail, my hazel eyes had bags underneath them from the countless all-nighters I have been pulling to get chapters of SONICPHOBIA, the director's cut, done on top of doing history homework. I stretch my legs, admiring their ballerina-esque nature. Then I glance at my watch. 10:30. I better get to school. I move around my tiny home, getting my sweater out and drawing outside. In the game, it's the only way to attend a party, not to be dragged out of bed and killed. Yeah, okay, so let's try turning it down here. Let's try turning down the desktop audio just a little bit. And the mic all the way up. Okay. It was a beautiful, crisp autumn morning. I breathe in the smell of autumn. My life has been so well since I got dogs. What? How has your life been well after getting dogs? What? Okay. My life has been so well since I got dogs back in September. I stopped trekking through Norwich, my eyes wide with wonder. I love this time of the year so much. I kicked through the leaves like a child, giggling madly as I skipped to school. My foot kicked something that skittered. I freeze. This should be froze. Then bend down to have a closer look. It looked like some kind of shiny rock, almost like the gem my monster wore on his vest. I lifted, admiring the texture. It seemed to swirl in the light, almost if it was driven by magic. Nonsense, I told myself. Magic is just unexplained science. I put the stone in my pocket, unaware of the troubles I was going to bring. I placed my hand in my pocket. I felt something like a feather in my pocket. You don't have to say in my pocket twice. You could just say, I placed my hand in my pocket. I felt something like a feather, or I felt something like a feather in there. Bad writing tropes, I swear. One problem, I don't have any feathers on me. To get kicked out of college would be racist. I know my monster well. He is a seemingly owl-shaped with plumicorns. I don't know what that is. What is that? Okay, horn-like feathers on the owls. Changed their YouTube title. obsessed with death, and he comes off as flippant, friendly, and very flamboyant. He is well dressed for a monster, with a hot pink vest and a matching bow tie. He is the color of a night sky. Yeah, show this right quick. SONICPHOBIA changed their YouTube handle because SONICPHOBIA, for some reason, thinks that changing their handles is going to do anything. It's not going to do anything. They changed it from Thanatophobia to Leave Me Alone Abysmal. Abysmal. Wow. Okay. Oh my god. He is the color of a night sky, or the pupil of an iris, blacker than night. His only calling card that he visited me was a single black feather. Usually the feather is tucked
Did you know every 40 seconds, someone
tucked
has
into
a
a doll
heart attack or
hidden
stroke?
in a
And
bookshelf,
Medicare
stuffed
Network's
under
air
my bed,
ambulance
or
providers can
tucked
bring
behind an
life-saving
article of
care
clothing.
directly to those
It's
in
been
need
literally
at a
years
moment's
since I
notice.
last
As
saw
the
this
largest
calling
air
card.
ambulance membership network, we've
They were trying to say abyssal and failed. My mother always told me that I was being ridiculous. I sigh. Still no ED. Pulling out the feather out to examine it. My face palled. Paled. You know, it could be me. I think that is how you spell paled. That could be me. They also agreed with a Nazi that I deserved to be slapped. Karma's the... Oh, wait. Only for the Nazi to get locked on Twitter. Karma's a bitch. They got abyssal gray derangement syndrome for her. My face paled as I saw the color. The feather was black, with a brilliant purple outline. He's back, and something tells me he would do anything to kill me now that I'm 23. I refuse to say his name. I don't want to summon him. I hear a familiar voice comment. Oh my, is that my little party dodger? You have grown so much since I last saw you. You practically blossomed while I was simply waiting for you to say yes to my little invitation. So make your choice, darling. There are a lot of deaths to pick from. So, my dear, would you rather be stabbed, strangled, crushed? Oh, who? How about poison? I see something black out the corner of my eye. I don't fuck around and find out. Oh my god, there's 69 pages of this shit. I take off running to my bus stop, hopping on the bus, and sliding the card at the nick of time. I hurriedly sit by the inside seat and grip the handlebars tightly. A take out my earbuds and put one in my ear. As I arrive at the bus terminal, I can see some sort of violet mist following the bus, followed by the sound of hooting laughter. I hop on my bus, swearing under my breath. I pant in the safety of the bus. My face paled as I peeked outside. I could see his orange, swirling eyes gazing at me almost maniacally. I shudder, since it was looking into the eyes of the devil. Why do you put the same words multiple times? Oh my god. I shuddered as his face shifted into something Picasso would draw, with his mouth shifting to the side before he vanished behind a pillar. The bus pulled away from that weird sight, and I breathed in relief. Crazy Hellbird is gone. I grumbled to myself as the bus started driving. Wait, so the implication was that Barnaby was spawn camping SONICPHOBIA. That's totally not fucking creepy. I began listening and humming to Melanie Martinez's K-12 album. Okay. That's what that is. It's a Melanie Martinez album. Okay. Because I was like, this shit is not for kindergartners. Then again, SONICPHOBIA is so fucking weird, she probably would want one to read it. I began listening and humming to the Melanie Martinez's K-12 album when I hear that awful hooting sound. I glance and see him gazing at me, his face twisted cartoonishly like a Picasso painting on a black canvas. You already used this analogy. Use a different one. Seriously. Stop repeating analogies. Properly use past tense terms. And stop using the same words in the same sentence. Otherwise, your writing will be dog shit. If it wasn't real life, I would be laughing right now. But it's real, and he hooted. A hoo 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 hoo. Did you know that there were several ways you can die on this bus? You could get into a crash and have your pretty neck impaled by glass. Or you could ram your pretty little head into a metal pipe. Ooh, you could get strangled by the things hanging on here. Imagine your adorable little face turning purple, or getting run over by the bus as you board it. He chuckled crazily, stretching his neck to be by my ear. He whispered, causing me to shudder. It would be a beautiful death that is fitting for a beautiful girl like yourself. Have you seen a mirror, SONICPHOBIA? You look like a skinny version of Chris Chan. You're not attractive at all. He placed one talon against my throat and gently traced my chin, guiding my face to meet his insane swirling eyes. Do you think SONICPHOBIA sings along to the teacher's pet song about a teacher sleeping with one of his teen students? coldly. I hum, nodding my head to the bouncy rhythm. I didn't hear Barnaby until he pulled my headphones out to repeat what he just said. That earned him a very annoyed glare from me. Annoyed and angry glare from me. I glare, stating coldly, there is a 305,644 chance of that happening. Percent chance of that happening. There should be percent right there. Oh, wait. There is a 1 in a 305,644 chance of that happening. Whatever. And the odds of getting hit by one of these sea buses is a 1 in 49,000. Where's the commas in this one? There's comma here, but no commas here. This is 495,000, but there's no commas here. And the odds of getting hit by one of the sea buses is a 1 in 495,000. I'm not stupid enough to put my neck through one of these things. I get to my college slipping out rapidly, and everyone wonders why I have depression and anxiety. I scoff to myself. I am too aware of my own mortality, and this fucking owl is just rubbing it in. He materialized next to me with hooting laughter. Your determination to live this dull, sad life inspires me, he hooted. I run inside of 3 rivers, panting. You cannot outrun death, silly, he called, rolling his orange eyes. I turn, running backwards and performing a triple middle finger. Then I ran to find my friends. I got to the food pantry, finding it full of people. I start making my coffee, but just as I go to pick it up, I decide to check on the temperature. I put my fingers against the paper cup, and that almost got me burned. Ow, you son of a bitch, I screamed, leaping back. I didn't seriously get burned, but it looked like my hot cocoa coffee treat was boiling. What the hell? Keurigs do not get that hot. I used that thing dozens of times, and I've never had this. I glanced behind me, since I heard a familiar, fruity hooting laugh. I see that wicked bird waving a wing, his orange tongue sticking out. Oh, you feathery fucker, I snarl. I get a little bit too angry when someone messes with my coffee. Last guy who ended up
So you want to start a
who
business?
did that ended up in
You
a
might think you need a
hospital
team
for
of people and fancy
diarrhea.
tech skills, but
This
you
is
don't.
officially
You
war.
just
I
need
yell at
GoDaddy
him before
Arrow.
lowering my voice
I'm Walton
to
Goggins,
hiss
and
at
as an
him.
actor, I'm an expert in looking
That
like I
shit
know what I'm
just
doing.
won't stand.
GoDaddy Arrow uses
Listen, you
AI to
fettered
create everything
bastard.
you need to
You
grow a
stepped
business.
over my feet
It'll make
one
you a
too many
unique logo.
times,
It'll create
and
a
I will
custom
rip your
website.
lungs out.
It'll write
You
social posts for you
out
and
your
even set you
asshole.
up with a social media calendar. Get started at GoDaddy.com.
You stepped over my feet one too many times, and I will rip your lungs out your asshole. You'll die. I get interrupted with a hooting chuckle from that fettered version of hell incarnate. Short-tempered little thing, aren't you? I can use that sort of passion for my parties. That dreadful bird commented, "It's an easy thing, dearie. All you need to do is die." He hooted, his pink bow tie spinning cartoonishly. I spat venomously. Go fuck yourself. I grabbed a sandwich from the freezer and leaped away as the freezer started sparking as if it was on fire. He hooted back, "I have no desire for that. Quit trying to kill me, you fucking asshat." I growled, kicking him in the shin. He vanished with a maniacal Sonic dropped some racial slurs, but the emphasis on the fact that Barnaby is black, they could have actually said something like that. I get to the cafeteria fuming over the waste of perfectly good hot cocoa powder. This is definitely not good sensory day for me. I try to sit at a booth, for yet another light fixture is trying to fall on me. That's a typo. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be light, but they wrote life. I scoot away in the nick of time to see him gazing at me. You, I growl, ready to yank him by the ear feathers. He gazed back, his red pupils focused on me. Me? He asked, innocently, hooting. He stroked his wing feathers, standing up and stretching. He easily towered over me. Half of the cafeteria glanced at me. I see my friends approaching me. He hooted, disappearing into a world of smoke. Arrogant ass. I grumbled. I sat with my other friends, all of them autistic. Our little friend group is like a family. I'm the oldest at 23, of the pansexual mom of the group. Then there is Aaliyah, a perky bisexual lass of 21. Then there is Thomas, the only dude in the group who is really good at Magic the Gathering at 19. And there is Lane, the youngest one of the group at 18. They all noticed that I was not exactly myself. Allie, that sounds wild, Thomas pointed out. Oh, whoops. Allie, what's up? Lane asked. They hugged me, something I desperately craved and needed. I hugged back, biting back tears. Then I began talking about what happened, going into great detail. I reached for the gym as proof of my misfortune, only to find it gone. Allie, that sounds wild, Thomas pointed out. He excused himself, snagging one of my hot chocolate packs. Gonna make you a coffee. Sounds like you're having a bad day because that so-called crazy owl of yours is preventing you from having your caffeine fix. We all know that you become similar to Chucky if you don't get your coffee fixed. All of my friends know exactly how I get when I don't drink coffee. I've become a little homicidal and cranky. Some could say that I act similarly to a certain ghost owl who hosts parties. That batshit crazy owl did not help matters at all. In some ways, he made my dour mood worse. You mean sour? The sister Sonic wrote smut about is in this. Bingo. Aaliyah piped up. Allie, describe the nutty owl that you have been so angry about. I describe everything. His black feathers, his hot pink vest and bow tie, his white shirt, even down to the facial features. I added the fact that he had a purple outline, almost as if he was hand animated into the real world. Aaliyah was silent, her dark complexion brooding over something. Then she said this one sentence that I wish she shouldn't have said. Allison, I believe that you saw Barnaby, that owl from the game Billy bust up. You haven't been playing video games before going to bed, have you? I have a predisposition for doing things on the internet when I'm supposed to be asleep, such as playing video games and writing fan fiction. She showed me a picture of Barnaby, and he looked like this. Lane glanced to their left, and their brown eyes widened. Leah glanced over, and she paled under her dark skin. What? I asked, irritable. Then I noticed the owl-shaped shadow over me. I groaned, irritated. Barnaby's right behind me, isn't he? asked the giant ghost owl. He hooted, his fruity voice and speaking level. No need to shout at me. Oh, there is a need to shout at you, I replied shortly. Aaliyah added, Allie does tend to be an asshole when she does not get her coffee, and she talks about murder when she's really pissed off. Oh, is this old or something? Did she change her gender because she's going by she in this fanfic, but she goes by they them now. Allison is in fact SONICPHOBIA's name. What is it with Allison's being pieces of garbage? Cause that's Cy's real name too. Cy Scribble's real name is also Allison. Okay. So, just any of them. Yeah, that's Cy's real name too. So what is up with people named Allison just being a piece of garbage? Then I took a closer look, and I realized that there was a detail I hadn't noticed before. He was wearing the same gem on his chest by a gold chain. I realized, pointing at his bling, and I yelled, Oi! That is a gem I was talking about. Maybe it's a few bad apples. Barnaby glared at me. His orange eyes narrowed. He moved the talon over as if I was about to steal it. You took my stuff, he huffed, starting to become larger. Sorry, I found it on the ground and admired it. I won't make that mistake twice, I shot back. Aaliyah and Lane were silent. Other people noticed, though. I'm still ready to make you double dead for the stunt you pulled in the pantry with my coffee, I added bitterly. There was more silence until Barnaby started laughing at me. I growled, gritting my teeth, and basically crushing a soda can I snagged from the food pantry earlier. Lane gasped, and Aaliyah covered her mouth. Barnaby giggled until he managed to compose himself. Now he is a staggering 8 feet, 4 inches, minus the plumicorns. He teasingly hooted, his plumicorns ruffled. I just got a glimpse of your inner party animal, and I must say that I adore it. I had enough at this point. I slammed the crushed up soda can hard into the table, crumbling it into nothing. Then I put on my best southern accent and exclaimed sweetly, Bless your heart, Barnaby, but you see, my darling zombie Skittle. What? You have made a serious mistake. Barnaby hooted, sticking his tongue out. Zombie Skittle. I love that nickname. Why would you call me such a thing, my fellow party animal? I reply, as a pansexual, I have a built-in gay door. You are fruity as fuck. What is this writing? Wait, is this the SONICPHOBIA racism arc? It's definitely the SONICPHOBIA homophobic arc. Bless your heart means fuck you.
The McDonald's snack wrap is back.
Yeah, but I'm a little bit versed into Southern hospitality
You broke the
meanings.
internet.
because I write a Southern character in my comic. Let's try to
Experian is your
read
big
this
financial friend, helping you explore credit card offers with confidence. Some cards are labeled no ding decline, which means if you're not approved, they won't hurt your credit score.
I
See
reply,
Experian.com
as
for
a
details. Applying for
pansexual,
cards labeled
I
no ding
have a
decline won't hurt
built-in
your credit scores if you aren't initially
gaydar. You are
approved.
fruity as fuck, and you mistaken me for someone who loves to miss out on their coffee. Don't test your luck, Sobby Skittle. I pull him by the bow tie and drag him close to emphasize my point. Don't ever fuck with my coffee again. He hooted, making himself 13 feet tall. He lifted me up to eye level. My entire family is Southern. Your enthusiasm inspires me, he cheerfully hooted, completely missing the point and misreading my anger. I was now officially irked. But we can't have that mortal coil clinking to you like a leech, he added, annoyed. It just won't do. My eye twitched at this. He seemed to have forgotten that this was a public place. I squirmed loose and landed on my feet like a parkour runner. I straightened myself out with a glare. Everyone is gazing at me now. You pushed your luck, Barnaby. Laugh now, but try laughing when you're double dead. I made my tone deadly quiet as I picked up my things. Thomas handed me another cup of coffee. I was grateful that it wasn't boiling over this time. I drank it deeply, and my eyes narrowed to slits. Barnaby looked about ready to choke me, so I walked away. All this over fucking coffee, bro. You think school is a safe place? Let's spin the wheel and see what kills you, he cackled. I grabbed my things and finished my coffee. I streaked to my only class, history. Barnaby chased me through the halls, hooting as passerbys glanced at me. I made it to my history teacher's class, slipping inside at the nick of time. Just love reusing this phrase. I'm stealing and I have a built-in gaydar to make it into emotes. Found a good template on Pinterest. I opt to sit in the floor away from anything that can kill me. My history teacher glanced at me. Allison, why are you not sitting in a seat at this lecture? God, I hate living with roommates. I love my history teacher. He is generally quite accommodating. Just as I begin briefly explaining my reasoning for sitting on the floor, also known as Barnaby. Just as I began briefly explaining my reason for sitting on the floor, also known as Barnaby, burst through the door with a crazed grin. I whipped my head over to see Barnaby ducking his head. His wings brushed the floor as he crouched in the class. Insert professor name here. You couldn't just write a name? Insert professor name here. SONICPHOBIA not gonna call Barnaby the N-word. Meet the reason why I'm sitting on the floor. I gestured to Barnaby, being as flippant and rude as possible. Call me Barnaby, he introduced himself, shaking my teacher's hand a bit too enthusiastically. sat next to me. I start taking notes. The minute the flapper era was mentioned, Barnaby had something to say. I remember that fashion, he blurted out. Everyone in the class was hooked on what Barnaby had to say. He said that it was the rage to enjoy life when he died. I finally blurted out, so you're going to tell me that you were around for the fall of the Romanovs and the rise of Stalin. You were alive before Hitler became a dictator. Barnaby stretched his neck to me, staring into my eyes. I added hastily, and you probably witnessed the fall of the Ottoman Empire. Lucky. Barnaby grinned creepily before putting his forehead against mine. I freeze as I saw glimpses of his past life. I caught glimpses of the clothes people wore in the 1920s. Female animals wearing flapper clothes. Barnaby himself only wore a purple vest and a white shirt. His feathers were that of a screech owl, and he had a ring on one talon. He carried a tiny baby into his arms. Before I could get a good look, I saw him in a science laboratory. I saw him tinkering with a stone before a blinding gold flash filled my vision. I was jolted back. My eyes were wide with terror. I panted, trembling. I gazed at Barnaby, horrified. He got his neck back into position, his bow tie spinning. He flapped his wing a couple of times, settling in with a smug-sounding hoot. After the class was over, I ran out of there, deciding to be with my friends again. Aaliyah was in the cafeteria. I told her what I saw, my eyes huge. I was talking too fast to realize that Barnaby was standing behind me, this time opting to be 14 feet tall. I was too excited to share what I found out. I hear a hooting laugh behind me. I glance up and rush to the bus, terrified, not crossing Barnaby twice. I reminded myself as I made the bus ride home. Chapter 3, You're Invited. I was in a quite foul mood when I got off the bus near my house, and Barnaby just made my sour mood much worse with his murder attempts. I could see Barnaby trying harder to kill me. I narrowly avoided a losing game of Frogger as I crossed the street to my own home, dodged a falling branch, and outran the neighborhood dog who tried to attack me for some stupid reason. I slipped inside of my home in the nick of time, repeating phrasing again, panting while having the beginning throes of an autistic meltdown. Then I storm into my room, trying my best not to cry. I get to my room, but it was a little messy, but not too unbearable. I see my cat snuggling close to the weighted blanket. Even though Rusty's getting on in his years, his orange fur and little face never cease to make my day better. I scoop him up into my arms and sob. Rusty, oh Rusty, I am having a really bad sensory day. I snuggle into his fur, letting the tears flow freely. My brother is in the military, my big sister and little sister is in England, and my mother is living on her own in a cabin out in the woods. I'm the only one managing my childhood house. My cat started kneading biscuits into my jeans. Ow, baby. Rusty. Nails. I yelped, chuckling. I take off my clothes with the intention of slipping into pajamas. I wrap myself tightly in my weighted blanket, sobbing. This day is the absolute worst. I sobbed to myself, rolling on my side. I curled up in a ball and sobbed. I fell asleep. I didn't dream of anything. Rusty kept eating biscuits on my blanket, making me feel better. I sang The Tornado by Owl City just to try to make myself feel better as I sleep. The next morning, I woke up to some blurry black and orange thing really up close to my face. I yelped, falling out of bed. was standing over my bed. For fuck's sake, I snarled. Then I glanced down to my own embarrassment. I was naked. I covered myself with my snuggie, shrieking, "Fuck off!" Barnaby huffed, his hot pink jacket somehow looking pristine. "Good morning to you too. Hoo, ha ha." At least he had the common sense to turn his gaze away. I put on a pair of jeans and Rusty climbed my leg.
Still
His
paying too
nails
much for your
digging
phone
into
plan?
me.
Ouch. Tello
Barnaby
Mobile's here to fix
stretched
that.
his neck
Get
down
Tello
to my
Unlimited for
cat,
just $25
who
a
was
month.
still
And if you need
hissing and
something else
spitting.
next month, you're in control. You heard
I
it
was
right.
letting
You're free to
enough
change your
loose
phone plan
players
whenever
till
you need to.
make it
No extra
Israeli
fees and no
sailor
tricks.
flesh.
Telephone plans come with nationwide coverage, free international.
Barnaby pulled his neck back into his normal position, tisking at me. "You are so enthusiastic about dying this morning. That charger of yours is looking tempting," Barnaby commented. "Shut up," I managed to stutter through a face full of my Pikachu pillow. My face was bright red with embarrassment. I added woppishly, "Stop trying to change my damn routine." "You should know this just as well as I do," I made this comment as he hooted and flapped his wings. I pat my face aggressively, trying to calm down. "I'm not changing your silly little routine. I'm telling you what will happen," he retorted, puffing his feathers. "Death is a part of your ridiculous little routine today." I glare. I spit out, "Go fuck yourself." I make the sentence so soft and full of venom that it should make anyone quiver. Barnaby hooted, flapping his wings. "I don't wish to do that. There's too much work involved." Ugh. He emphasized this by T-posing and falling onto my table with a weirdly satisfying thud. I couldn't bite it back anymore. I crack up. The sight of a 13-foot-tall ghost owl spreading himself on my table like a tired bird is enough to get me laughing. He peeked at me, his orange eyes sparkling. His red pupils were sort of dilated, almost as if he was pleased by my reaction. My cat was still in orange puff mode. I stroked his fur reassuringly. I commented to myself, "What are you on and where can I get some?" I added a little bit more loudly, asking for a friend if you were overhearing that. Barnaby smirked, his orange tongue sticking out. "Something told me that I was going to hate the answer," he replied, hooting. "Ah, hoo 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 hoo. I'm on the afterlife with some deadly nightshade. I can give you some free of charge." He winked almost flirtatiously. "And then the fun will begin." He spread his wings wide as if to take flight. I gazed, my mouth hanging open in shock and horror at what he just said. Flirtatious. Isn't he your fictional father, SONICPHOBIA? Why would your co-style dad flirt with you? I gazed, my mouth hanging open in shock and horror at what he just said. I quickly composed myself, grumbling. I take it back, I don't want to know. I called my friends on a group call. Lane was the first to answer. Good morning, I chirped, watching Barnaby warily. You remember the zombie skittle issue I had yesterday? It's at my house, and I don't think it's going to let me live through breakfast, and it might try to kill me with my caffeine again. My friends arrived within 20 minutes of my cry for help. Lane got to my house first, their brown eyes filled with worry. Then Aaliyah and Thomas arrived. Thomas's dirty blonde hair was tousled as if he had just woken up. Barnaby picked himself up, he gently stroking his feathers as if he was contemplating something, like a cartoon villain. He hooted as my friends arrived. He got a little too close to my friends, stretching his neck across the room as if he was in a cartoon. Stop with the repeating analogies. Lane asked, Allie, you look angry, tired, and hungry. Admittedly, I didn't sleep well because of my anxiety of being killed in my own bed, and I was worried that he might try to kill my cat. Lane started making breakfast. Barnaby was hooting, flapping his wings. He chirped happily. Did you know that you can die from salmonella or E. coli? He was trying to make Lane nervous on purpose. That rhymed. I felt as if I was forgetting something important about Barnaby, but I couldn't remember what. I growled, getting really close to Barnaby and shoving my thoughts to the side. Leave my friends alone. I glare in his orange eyes, which are glowing like a pair of spotlights. I add, don't you dare cross me. I made sure my voice is full of venom. He hooted, aw, you are so cute when you're trying to be serious. He empathized this by lightly poking my nose with his talon. Then he reclined in my dad's old chair in the kitchen, commenting, you know, little party dodger, you have that certain, how do you mortals put it? You have that certain spice of life that I find endearing, very endearing and inspiring. You will do wonderfully for my party. He cackled maniacally. I glared at him in response, drumming my finger on the table in Morse code. Thomas heard me drumming and immediately grabbed my shoulders. I stem with Morse code. And how I do it is a clear indicator of my mood. Right now, I was tapping my fingers 3 times rapidly, 3 times slowly, then 3 times rapidly again. SOS. Barnaby chuckled maniacally, trying to hug me. I got really close to Thomas and Aaliyah, hissing. I usually like hugs, but I don't like hugs that come from homicidal birds. Thomas growled. You seriously need to leave Allie and our friends alone. Barnaby just hooted like the homicidal owl he is. Then he vanished, becoming purple mist. Good riddance. Aaliyah and I both grumbled at the same time. Then I did the jinx, knocking on wood and telling Aaliyah that she owes me a Dr. Pepper. I love screwing up the jinx game. We unanimously decided that it was best if I wasn't left alone. It was a Saturday, and my friends just decided that today I cannot be left alone. You just said that! Oh my god. We decided to walk around Norwich, enjoying the fall colors, eating the local food and vibing at the library. When we got back from our day's endeavors, I noticed that there was an envelope jammed haphazardly into my mailbox. My friends glanced at each other. It had a weird sigil with a skull and a party hat to the side. I glanced at my friends. They nod. We read the contents of the envelope. It was terrifying. The note read, "You're invited to the Barnaby Manor for a party that is to die for. However, since you're immortal, there are a few extra steps that you must take in order to attend my party. This invitation is activated by drawing my face on the door. Then you wait till 3 o'clock in the ante-meridium. Then stand in front of the door you drew the sigil on and say, 'Barnaby, it's party time.' I will know if you try to ignore this invitation, since there will be very dire consequences to ignoring it. Do bring your friends, the more the merrier. It's to die for. Barnaby Yinshuf, Baron of the Barrow." I glanced at my friends, my face pale. All of my friends were staring at me. I finally break the silence. I hate saying this, but this feels like a threat. Then I glanced at my hand. There was a Barnaby shake mark on my hand, left hand. "Shit," I yelled. Then I stared at all my friends. How many times are you gonna say you stared at your friends? You glance at your friends. 1, all your friends were staring at you. 2, you glance at your hand. You stared at your friends the 3rd time. They had matching marks on them. They all glanced, and the room broke out in panicked murmurs. I checked Rusty, relieved that no mark and no harm came to him. I breathed in relief. Guys, you're all going to hate my guts, but I don't think we have a choice. We have to go to that party and survive. We have to beat Barnaby at his own game. We can't let him win. Chapter 4, An Unexpected Arrival. Let me see what's... It's 69 pages. I'm not going to read all of these tonight. Yeah, 69 divided by 2. Okay, I'll read 34 here, then 34 on the next stream. Is Barnaby the next P. Diddy? Keep away from the baby oil. Barnaby wants to party and you have to tell him no. You have to tell him no.
When I first started my journey at WGU, I transferred from a community college. It kind of gave me the chance to get my foot on in the door.
Oh, shit.
and have as many credits to finish at WGU. So it just gave me that flexibility to be able to do my courses whenever.
Learn more now.
Okay. We decided to hold a slumber party that night. We tried to distract ourselves from the impending sense of doom that left a sour taste in everyone's mouths due to the threatening nature of the invitation sent to us by that horrible hellbird that is fondly known as Barnaby to the Billy Bust-Up community. Thomas taught us about Magic the Gathering, trying to distract us from the inevitable. To say that spirits are low will be a severe understatement. Everyone looked bleak, depressed, and even Aaliyah looked as if they had all the joy had been drained from them. I'm gonna go off the record for a bit. And I just wanna ask, I know it's not all autistic people. Of course, it's not all of them. A lot are really functional members of society. But why is it like the really deranged autistics like Chris Chan at SONICPHOBIA like always trying to imagine fictional characters in the real world? It's like a pattern. It's pattern recognition. They both do the same thing. They like try to take fictional characters that they really like and just imagine if they were in our world. That's why Barnaby wants SONICPHOBIA to be in their 20s before trying to get him at his party. He wants Sonic to go to his freak offs. I'm not handling this change in routine well, since death is overstimulating and upsetting for me. I look at all my friends and I choke back sobs. I had zero idea that my brother would return from serving in the Marines. At midnight, we heard a knock at the door. I opened the door, ready to chew out Barnaby. "You got a lot of nerve for showing your face around." I began screaming, but then I looked carefully at the newcomer. The newcomer was not a bird of any sort. I recognized him from the get-go. "Oh, welcome home. I'm so sorry about that. I thought you were someone else." I momentarily forgot about the invitation, hugging the newcomer. Yeah, good to see you too, dork," he replied. Then he got a good look at me. I knew who the newcomer was. It was my own brother, David. His brown eyes narrow, his dirty blonde hair short. He pinned me against the wall. "Why did you lash out?" "No way to make many Diddy Barnaby." Diddy Barnaby. "Why did you lash out?" he asked, growling. My friends and I immediately explained what was going on. He was listening, not quite believing us. When we were done explaining our depressing situation, he cocked his eyebrow at us. Something told us he didn't quite believe us. I glanced at my watch and froze. It took all of us 2 hours to explain the harrowing situation. It was now 2:59. Fuck! Barnaby is going to fuck us up if we don't hurry. I yelled, rushing to grab chalk. I traced Barnaby's likeness onto the closet door with lightning speed. It took all my friends to hold him back and block my brother. He fought and swore. I I stood in front of the door sobbing. I dried my tears, and I finally said the dreaded phrase, "Barnaby, it's party time." My voice cracked as I said that horrible phrase. My brother gasped as the closet door glowed with an eerie green light. I opened the closet door, finding myself looking into a desolate sight. The sky was an eerie green. You just said it's eerie green. Why would you need to say eerie green again? His manner towering and foreboding. The Tiffany glass glowed with light. The stone architecture had owl motifs and gargoyles. The building had a commanding presence that also felt malevolent. I stepped through. My brother finally broke free. All my friends chased after him as he tackled me. "Allison made black," he growled, pinning me against a tombstone. "I will not let you go inside of that building." It took Thomas and Aaliyah to pull him off. I flashed the invitation in front of him. "I have to. Otherwise, everyone we know and love would be killed. And you need to go. Leave. Stay out of this. This is between my childhood monster, my friends, and myself. Go." I made my tone sharp as I ordered him to go. He tried to argue with me by trying to put out on his Marine persona. That was an older soldier. I made my tone barking, sharp and clipped, like a drill sergeant. Everyone felt silent. I glanced around for the door that led us here, only to find it completely gone. "Guess you're stuck with us," I told him waspily. Waspishly. I turned and started walking up the building. My knees were shaking badly. The doors opened like a coffin, swinging outward towards the sky. I enter, and my friends follow behind. I keep my eyes sharp for any sign of the wicked bird. I checked his study, finding nobody there. My brother looked at a few paintings. He pointed to one of Barnaby. "Hey, look at that, Allie. It's your imaginary boyfriend. He looks just like you, weird and ugly." He's got that right. "Barnaby, it's time to get freaky." And Barnaby is just in the corner, covered in baby oil, a rose in his beak, and playing the song "Lollipop" by Lil Wayne. Candy shot by 50 Cent. Oh my god. "Hey, look at that, Allie. It's your imaginary boyfriend. He looks just like you, weird and ugly," he teased, obviously unaware of the very real danger. I glared at him in response. I was actually quite pretty. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But I have low self-esteem because my brother picks on me a lot. Aaliyah snapped at him. "Barnaby is not something or someone to joke about." She cuffed him hard. He tried to cuff back, but Thomas grabbed him and stopped him. I was surprised that a guy with a skinny frame can stop a burly Marine like my brother. His combat fatigues were a stark contrast to our little group attire. Aaliyah was wearing some serious cottagecore attire with a dress that looks like a fairy and may have made a mushroom cap into a dress. I was wearing seam clothes with tattered jeans, a choker, and a striped shirt under my favorite zombie response team t-shirt. going to get so much shit later for the Barnaby P. Diddy jokes, but it's hilarious. I was wearing scene clothes with tattered jeans, a choker, a striped shirt under my favorite zombie response team t-shirt, and a pair of combat boots. Thomas wore jeans and a sweatshirt. Elaine wore golf clothes. Then we started walking towards the living room. Barnaby himself was absent. Then we glanced up and saw the gym. My friends instinctively backed away. Oh, I could have marked this up the whole time? Huh. My friends and I instinctively backed away. We all knew how much Barnaby hated having his shit touched without permission. My brother mistaken this for cowardice. He sneered. All of you are cowering over a stupid jewel. I'm going to show you there's nothing to be afraid of. Then he took off parkouring to the gym. We noticed some floating books. Dave, no, I yelled, desperately trying to get him to stop. All of us immediately ran and hid in the study. Delete that. Am I reading this right? In the chat, Barnaby was P. Diddy according to Sonic. Yeah, he's on some Diddy behavior. Dave, no, I yelled, desperately trying to get him to stop. All of us immediately ran and hid in the study. I stayed behind, pressing in the shadows. I could only watch in horror as David touched the gym. The gym immediately seemed to absorb the shadows. I ran in the opposite direction, hiding in a chest. I can hear the conversation plainly. Barnaby must have materialized because I heard Dave cry out in shock. Trying to steal my stuff, are we? Barnaby asked. He sounded pissed, and rightfully so. Well, that's not very nice. With manners like that, I should kick you out. You're unfashionably early anyways. The party doesn't start until 3:30. I can hear Barnaby rip my brother a new asshole with his fruity voice. Wait a minute. He sounded pretty damn contemplative to me. You weren't invited, unless you are one of the party dodgers' little friends. He broke out in a hooting laughter. I glanced out of my hiding spot cautiously. How wrong is it that I bet on my brother dying due to his stupidity? I whispered. My friends chuckled softly before doing the sign that clearly signified I shouldn't say that. I was unaware that Barnaby's head was in the room. I hear something roll in the room. My friends froze. I hissed, "What?" Then I hear that fruity bastard's voice. It sounded like it was right in front of my hiding spot. I peek out. I hear Barnaby tease. "Playing hide and seek, are we? Good thing I'm an expert." I glanced down and nearly screamed. His head was detached detached from his body, and it was right in front of my hiding spot. His orange eyes gazed up at me, glowing like a pair of flashlights. You already used this analogy, but with headlights earlier. He giggled maniacally as I climbed out. I pick up his head, my skin crawling. Eek, I screamed, almost dropping his head. Then I forced myself to calm down. What the fuck? I hissed. He giggled, biting his lip. I grumbled. You seriously need to quit while you're ahead. You seriously need to quit while you're ahead there, Louis the 16th. I glared. I hear footsteps. What the fuck, lol. It's on my read. It's my read on this crap. He kept flirting with Sonic. Saw Sonic naked, spawn camp Sonic, and is marking for Sonic for later. Banned it, then he confirmed. Hi, chat, how we doing? How you doing, Maddie? We're doing great. We are reading Deaf and Autism. Another Sonic fanfic. I hear footsteps. I see David running towards me. Allison, drop the head. That thing is a ghost, David shouted, his brown eyes wide. I see Barnaby's face twist into a disgusted expression, his mouth shifting to the side of his head and glaring at my brother. Then the rest of Barnaby's body came into view. It cuffed David across the head. Ow, stop hitting me, golf duo, he growled. He glared, poking David. We can't have that pesky mortal body clinging to all of you like leeches. It just won't do. He bit me to get me to drop him. I dropped his head out of shock. I bite back, swears. Then he started looming over all of us. He spread his wings. Make your choice. You choose the manner, I do the deed. He said this suggestively, raising his eyebrows and acting like he was talking dirty with one talon over his mouth. He winked slyly at me. The fun will begin. I could see David shaking visibly. I decided to make a tactical maneuver. I do the timeout symbol, winking at my brother and hitting companions. Timeout. I forgot to speak to my friends and my brother about this, since it's such a huge deal. We don't want to die with a mockable death, so we gotta convene first, I spoke. Barnaby opened his mouth. I had. We've got to discuss it between each other privately. I was dripping sweat. Barnaby froze. Then he shrugged his gigantic wings as if to say, whatever, I don't give a shit. Then he hooted. You have 10 minutes to discuss it. Then he left in a trail of purple mist. We looked at each other, and we had 10 minutes to pick a death that is easy to survive. David was trying to be stoic, but I could see the fear in his eyes. I could see him hooting. I can hear him hooting as if he was sharpening a knife in the background. We decided to explore the manor to find a secret way out. I went with Thomas, Aaliyah, and Lane. Aaliyah and Lane walked into the kitchen. David was on his own. While we walked the halls, I started singing The Principal by Melanie Martinez to calm the fuck down. While I was done, I noticed an orange, round and pudgy looking ghost. It looked almost like a Boo from Mario franchise, but it wore a top hat and a bow tie. It took one look at me and flew in the opposite direction, yelling, Baron Barnaby, the living guests are upstairs. They didn't choose death. I glare at Thomas. He nods. We started running into the library. The floors had the same rug pattern as the one in The Shining. The hexagons scared me. Where are those twins when you need them? I note dryly as we heaved between bookshelves. bust up community loves. If it wasn't happening to us, we'd be singing along too. Chapter 5, Daughter. We started glancing around the new room that we escaped to. The walls were long, dark, musty, and cold. They smelled as if old life was sucked out of that hallway. I turned on the flashlight on my phone, and the entire place was illuminated. I could see paintings of Barnaby when he was still alive on the walls. I see one that got me to stop and stare. It was a picture of Barnaby when he was alive. And there was a mystery owl with her face crossed out. There was also a tiny owl whose face was also crossed out. Holy shit, I breathed. I could see things. I could see awards and things too, but they were ripped. It's almost as if he was thrown into a rage about what he lost. I realized I shiver at the thought of an angry Papa Owl lashing out at anything living. I think we should not be here, Thomas replied, his voice low and coarse. We kept walking until we came across a flight of spiral stairs. After you, Mother, don't get hurt. He teased since I am sometimes called Mama Owl by my friend group because of the wisdom I give out. I nod, clinging to the wall and climbing up. I entered the room at the top and whistled out of pure astonishment.
So Sonic just said they're not safe as a voice actor.
I could hear the sound of an organ playing. Its haunting melody drifted to my ears. I glanced around the room. It was wide, spacious, and hauntingly cozy, to say the least. There was a canopy bed, dark purple drapes, and the duvet covers were black with sigils sewn into it. The walls were made of stone, and there was an organ at one end of the room. We sneaked inside and we froze. Barnaby was at the organ, and he was playing the melody in a very haunting manner. We crouched behind his bed, watching him. We hear him sniffling. I glanced at Thomas and mouthed, "Should we say something?" Thomas mouthed back, "No, look." He pointed to a childlike figure on a photo on Barnaby's organ. It looks like a photo of Barnaby's child. Her eyes were wide with adoration towards the photographer, who was probably Barnaby, but I don't know. I was a little surprised that anything would show any love towards that hellbird. We both hear him hoot, almost mourningly. "Octavia, I wish your vessel would accept that we were supposed to haunt our home together." We glanced at each other, terrified. We slipped out of his room with a stealth similar to that of a ninja. Unfortunately, the door slid behind us. We perked up our ears after the door slid shut behind us, hoping to hear the organ continue. There was silence. We quickly dove under the bed, hoping we weren't found out.
Like, I don't get it, Sonic. Are you not safe? Because to me, you're not safe around Nazis, Zios, and Pals. sounds familiar. So Sonic Watch is hell of a boss. Cavemen don't exist. I know I said that. Where did I say that at? I forgot where I said that at. But I was like trying to troll somebody who said something stupid. Somebody said something dumb, so I was like, Lamau, cavemen don't even exist. Like, we all know they did. But he said something dumb, so I was gonna so I was trying to troll that guy. I forgot where I said it. I think I said it on Chuli's vid. I gotta look. I hiss. Do you think he heard us? Thomas shrugged. Then we watched Barnaby's neck stretch as if it was silly putty. We didn't realize that his head would join us. Our hearts were beating rapidly. Then we hear Barnaby hoot loudly in my ear. Why are we hiding? Oh, hoo, 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 hoo. We flinched, hitting our heads against the bed. We both yelled out in terror, crawling out. Then Barnaby grabbed me. His eye got large as he stared at me closely. His smile grew in an almost sickening sweet way. Via? He asked. His voice soft. My eyes are wide with fear, as if he examined me closely. Octavia, I finally found you, hoo hoo hoo, he screeched, swinging me around and hugging me tightly. Yep, sure. I don't know what your problem is, but you can yell at Purple Sacrament and all you want. You're not gonna yell at me. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna 24 you. Have a good day. Down. I'm not Octavia, I yelped. Then I turned to Thomas and yelled, tell Lane and Leah that we are dealing with more than a party host. We're dealing with a grief-crazy daddy owl. I never thought I'd ever live to say that sentence. Thomas nodded, taking off and running. Now that I was alone with Barnaby, he hugged me tightly. Hang on, Via. I'm not going to shed that pesky mortal coil of yours yet. I have something bigger in mind for you. He chuckled crazily after drying neon orange tears. I froze, my eyes widening. He thinks his daughter is inside of me, I realized. He glanced at me again, tisking. Via, my little owlet. What are you wearing? He asked, his feathers ruffling. I'm not. I started to protest, but he hushed me with a talon to my lip. No, your outfit just won't do. It's unbecoming of a yin shuf to dress like some scruffy thing off the streets. He told me, his voice getting a little shrill. Then he glanced at me, eyeing me up and down. He shook his head at the sight of my torn jeans, my now dirty zombie response team t-shirt, the turtleneck underneath looking a little dusty. dragged me to a giant vanity mirror. He started measuring me, tisking at my waist. He snapped his fingers, and my attire quickly transformed. In an instant, my jeans became black dress pants. My turtleneck became a button-up shirt, and my t-shirt changed to a blue vest identical to his pink vest. There was a gem on my chest, similar to the one he wore. I didn't start anything with you. What are you talking about? I never even said a word about you. Okay. Before I permaban you for this chat, I want to give me 10. I'll give you 10 seconds to even explain any interaction I've ever had with you. I'll wait. Give me an interaction we've had. You and me personally. Give me an interaction we've had. Because I've never said a single word to you. Oh, so were you job application? Because I'm pretty sure I was talking to job application. Shit, let me pull it. Because I know exactly what we're talking about here. Let me pause this right quick. I know exactly what we're talking about. I know exactly what we're talking about. Because I saw you and Chuli stream yesterday. Go ahead, try to flag my other accounts too, I don't care. I know exactly what you're talking about. Because you quit the stream yesterday. I saw you because you were crying just like job application about him being, about the ageism in Truly stream. I saw you yesterday. Yep. Let's try to find my comment in here. Okay, it's not this one. So unless you're this person right here, the job application too, I wasn't talking to you. See, here you go, right here. There's you. There's you again. I don't see me talking to you. I see you, but I don't see me talking to you. So what's up with that? Meaning I wasn't talking to you. So I don't know what you're taking offense for. Maybe you goths are just really fucking stupid. Then again, you're dumb enough to put all this. Never mind, I won't go there. Yeah, you know, I will go there. You're dumb enough to put metal through your fucking mouth. Like a fucking weirdo. Yeah, I don't see me talking to you. So maybe I said it to somebody else. Maybe I said that on Twitter. Because I do remember saying cavemen don't exist. Because I was trying to troll somebody. not you. Because I never said a word to you. Yeah, I'm reading a song. And we're gonna perm ban you. Have a nice night. Stupid goth. Gonna remove your comments and we're gonna ban you. Because you couldn't provide accurate proof that anybody was even fucking talking to you. Go ahead, flag my channels. I don't give a shit. You have nothing to flag me for. And I just showed my other emails too. So go ahead to my other channels and flag me there. Bye bye. Get that ass banned. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy. I remember saying that yesterday, but I don't remember where I said it. It's clearly not on this video. Wait, maybe let me try newest. Hang on. Cause it sometimes hides. Yeah, 49 comments. Okay, here we go. Here it is. I found it. LMAO Caveman didn't even exist. The job application 2. Does it say monotypical? Or whatever their alt's name was? Does this say monotypical? I don't think so. I don't think it does. It says the job application 2. Idiot. So I'm guessing this is monotypical then. Great job exposing your alt. Anyway, back to what we were doing. I thought that person was cool because they were, going at it with the UTTP like the rest of us. But what can I expect a goth to be actually emotionally intact for? I guess that was on me, thinking that a goth would be a normal mentally person. And that's not a dig at goths, because I know there's good and bad in every group, every walk of life. There's good and bad. But come on, what are we doing here? Okay. Anyway, as we were reading, hey, that was my favorite outfit, Barnaby. I protested, but Barnaby silenced me again. This time he cuffed the back of my head with his wing and flicked me on the lip with his talon. Ow. Be respectful. Call me. I'm not reading that. I'm a Midwest emo. I do not claim folks like monotypical. Exactly. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on. I thought monotypical was cool because they're going back and forth with Purple Sacrament just like I was. But now you're gonna come into my stream and attack me when, like, I never said a bad thing about, unless your job application too, I never said a bad thing about monotypical. But yeah, I'm not reading that. I insist, Octavia. I'm your father, Barnaby scolded, his plumicorns fluffed. He grew to a height of 13 feet tall. I flinched, scared of being hit again. He hooted, shooing me to the organ. He lifted me and plopped me in the organ seat. He hooted, sighing. Oh ho ho. I remember when you would sit right here on my lap and play around with the keys. He gently nudged me. If this wasn't terrifying, this would be adorable. He started playing the organ. It sounded like an organ cover of Your Reality from Doki Doki Literature Club. I sing the lyrics to that song, my voice soft. I think Barnaby heard me since he hooted. Oh, Via Via, I missed you so much. I think you need to be punished for running away from me for 100 years. He screeched. I flinched. You are to stay in your room until midnight, he hooted, his fruity voice insane. He grabbed me by the vest and warped reality. My vision blurred as I find myself in another room. It was like a little girl's room. There was a canopy bed with faded white drapes, and everything was too frilly. I felt like throwing up. I would have liked to have a girly girl room as a child, but as an adult I found that sort of thing off-putting. I glance outside, noticing my friends get out safely. I text, I'm trapped. Run away, get help. Daddy Ghost Owl has gone berserk and called me Octavia. For the amount of fruity mentioned, I got my pride and peril on. I hit send, then I shoved my phone in my pocket. I start pacing, panicking. The room itself was kind of dusty. I'm going to have to bitch at Barnaby later about dusting this place. I hear a new voice chirp. Hello, Octavia. I turned to see an orange ghost in my room. He was round, orange, and glowed. I'm Timothy. Your father sent me to watch over you, he added. So, Octavia, do you know how happy your father is that you returned home? He asked, circling me. He is hooting with joy over your return. I'm not Octavia, I'm Allison, I protested. The ghost frowned, scowling. No, that's the name of your vessel. Your soul is that of Barnaby's daughter. He has been searching for you for a long time, sweet little Octavia. He shot back. I bite a groan. Octavia, the significance of tonight is to celebrate your long-awaited return and your birthday. Timothy purred, circling me. I froze, my face paling. Everything was falling into place, and the conclusion I drew up was not a pleasant one. Barnaby thinks my soul is that of his dead daughter. Chapter 6. Uh-oh, Barnaby's mad. I start looking around for secrets. I knew that when I was a kid, I loved tiny secrets in houses. I remember looking around my mom's friend's workplace, finding secret caches from the runaway railroad and other secret places. I start feeling around, looking for a way out. I stride over to the wardrobe. I gently feel around the inside. It had little girl dresses hanging, old little girl dresses that faded with age. I felt around inside, and my hand rested on a piece of metal on the wall of the wardrobe. Huh? I quickly felt around more and more and felt a metal hatch in the wall. Is this an escape? I felt hope blossom in my chest as I opened the hatch in the wall. I crawled through the crawl space, I was brimming with curiosity and hope. Maybe I could get out of this alive. I was being sadistically optimistic. The crawl space was a little dusty and definitely not big enough for a 5'5" autistic woman like myself to stand up in. I crawled in the end where there was another door. I opened it only to be sorely disappointed for what I saw. It was a play area. There was a dusty slide, a dilapidated tire swing from the 1920s, what I assume is a sandbox that's full of dust and spiders, and a couple of old dolls. There were no windows. The walls were painted a garish pink color, and the floor was a lilac color. I assumed that it was originally a brilliant shade of purple, and the pink was not so garish in its heyday, but now it looks like the liveliness was sucked out of it. I see a drawer in one end, and I opened the drawers. I found puzzles, books, a game of cat and mouse, a diary. A diary? Maybe this could help me. I figured, deciding to read it. I grab it and settle down. The sight must be strange to onlookers. A 23-year-old human dressed like a blue-collar spot of a certain ghost owl, sitting inside of a 100-year-old play area that looked to be designed specifically for owls, reading a diary. I'm taller than SONICPHOBIA. I sit down and read the diary. Dear diary, today Daddy took me outside to play since he was working on making me a playground and decided we needed a break from the manor. He took me to the park. He is going to teach me how to fly. I'm excited. Love, Octavia. I see a hand-drawn picture of two owls flying. They both look happy. I read the next entry, finding this little display of daddy favoritism adorable as a fellow daddy's girl myself. Dear diary, today Daddy stopped his work to help me with a skinned knee. I got him to swing. He told me that this is simply how gravity works. I know that it was dangerous. What he was doing was researching magic, but he was looking at some pretty gem. It was pretty. Daddy said never to touch it. Love, Octavia. 5'10" and a half. I was 5'11". Damn, you're taller than me. I'm 5'9". I noticed that there were only these two entries. Via must have died shortly after. I realized that I can't find any other clues, but that handwriting looked just like mine from when I was 5. What the fuck happened? I wondered, panicking. I text my group chat, bail. Nothing happened. I looked carefully at my phone. No signal. Guess being a ghost means that you don't need internet. I huff angrily at myself. Wait, didn't you just text them earlier? You just texted them earlier. So there was a signal. Now there's not a signal, because ghosts don't need signal. You just texted them earlier when Barnaby was grabbing you, calling you his daughter. It worked perfectly fine then. How is it not working now? I huff angrily at myself. Then I hear Timothy calling. I froze as he flew in here. His round face was twisted in a mask of anger. Baron Barnaby thought you ran away. You are still grounded, Via, he scolded. He added, noting my confusion. You found your old playroom. Baron Barnaby remembers you building you this. He was originally hoping that you would arrive when your vessel was 5 years old. I froze. I froze as Timothy flew out, yelling, Baron Barnaby, I found your daughter. I bit back a groan of frustration. I finally snapped when Timothy yelled at. I follow him, closing the door carefully behind me. I hiss waspishly at the orange ghost. Who died and made you my babysitter? Who died and made Barnaby my dad? I didn't expect Timothy to hear. I most certainly did not expect Timothy to answer. He abruptly stopped, causing me to collide with him, going right through him. I fell face first. Goes right. I wheezed, disheveled. The phone doesn't work for plot reasons. Exactly. Like, you can't Deus Ex Machina this shit? Find some reason out your ass to make the phone actually stop working because it was working earlier. Excuse you. I happen to die in a fun way. Rude. Baron Barnaby is definitely going to love to hear what you have to say about him, Octavia. Timothy huffed, about to flit towards the locked door. Wait, how did you die? I yelled, reaching to stop Timothy before realizing it was useless. I danced so hard I broke my spleen. You can't break your spleen as an organ. You can tear your spleen. You can break bones. You can't break organs. Oh my god. Now SONICPHOBIA doesn't even know how anatomy works. I danced so hard I broke my spleen, he huffed back. Then he flew off before I could stop him. That's the same death SONICPHOBIA wrote for Jesse. Since there's ghosts, you can use paranormal means to explain why the phone doesn't work. Well, Sonic definitely didn't write that in. It was just, oh, the phone stopped working. It doesn't even mention anything about it working earlier. It just apparently just stops working and nobody even paid attention. Then he flew off before I could stop him. I ran against the door, kicking it hard. Your father would love to hear what you had to say about both him and I. Timothy laughed, flying away. Ah. Let me get the nurse. Throat's probably dry. Okay. I did everything I could to get the fuck out. I started banging at the door, then I gave up. I flop on the bed, tears streaking down my face. This is a horrible way to die, I sobbed to myself. Having a delusional ghost owl kill you just for getting frustrated. I started nodding off as I heard Timothy return. Octavia, your father wants an audience with you. He doesn't take kindly to having his pretties disrespected. This is your first lesson. Never disrespect the bard above. Timothy spat, flying close to my face. I flinched, terrified. I stood up as the door unlocked. SONICPHOBIA considers dancing to your spleen ruptures is a fun way to die. That shit would be agonizingly painful, especially if you don't get medical help. Seriously. Yeah. Let's look into it real quick. Timothy sounds like Barnaditty's many gay lovers, but Timothy would enjoy being covered in baby oil. It would be slippery. I flinched, terrified, as I stood up as the door unlocked. Sounds like my ticket out of this jail is here, I hissed. Timothy stopped me with a glare. If something so cute can be terrifying, Barnaby and his Barna boys would definitely take the cake. I opened the door, only to be met with a face full of black feathers. Ack! As I yelped, as I got a wink to the face, I growled in frustration. As I was knocked back, I stand, only to find myself face to beak with Barnaby. Mind telling me what you said? Barnaby asked, his voice raising to almost shrill pitches. He shoved me onto the bed with a powerful wing and I flinched. Scared, he raised his voice shouting, I did not bring you up to be very disrespectful. I covered my ears, trembling. I hate loud noises, since they tend to cause me to get a headache. How I end up liking modern rock, alt, and pop is beyond me. Barnaby is pimp slapping me. He's almost today. God damn, you're on fire, randomly. Gray is on fire with the jokes. Barnaby is pimp slapping hoes today. I've had enough. I screamed, my voice equally shrill and upset. I'm sorry for asking a rhetorical question that was not meant as disrespect. I won't ask any more questions, especially not questions that are rhetorical. I covered my mouth, flinching at my own voice. I ducked, trembling. I was expecting to be shanked or even hit. I lay face down on the carpeted floor, squeezing my eyes shut and waiting for the blow. You went and did it again, Allie. I told myself harshly as I expected to be hit. You opened your mouth and let out verbal garbage again. I let tears slide down my face. I silently count my heartbeats. Trying to figure which one will be my last one. I should try Barnaby as a pimp. I kept my eyes squeezed shut. I expected to feel talons cruelly ripping at my back. I expected a lot of pain. I braced myself for the one quick talon flick that will tear my back to shreds. My muscles are tense, ready for the pain. I ended up getting surprised instead. Instead of a merciless talon to the back, I felt the talon grip me firmly and lift me by the ankle. I trembled, scared. I crossed my arms over my chest to protect myself. I silently waited for the talon to shred me. A solid minute passed and nothing happened. Instead, I felt a giant bird talon wrap itself around me and flip me to an upright position. I dared to open my eyes a crack. Barnaby was holding me really close to his face. His expression softened a lot. He tilted his head and he softened his voice. You didn't know better, Via, he hooted softly, gently wiping my frightened tears away. Chapter 7, an emotional punch to the gut. I froze. Not quite expecting this strange and sudden flippant behavior. He somehow went from an aggressive, pissed off ghost owl to a cinnamon roll with too much affection with the blink of an eye. If my friend saw this, it would have ended badly for everyone. He gazed down at me, his glowing orange eyes casting a gentle glow on my face. His expression was soft. Then he coughed into his wing in an almost embarrassed manner. Well, hoo-hoo, you're still going to be punished, he hooted, fluffing his feathers. All of the color seemed to have drained from my face. I gawked at him, terrified. you before the event would be just be rewarding bad behavior. Aha! I know exactly how to punish you. I'm going in. I don't like where this is going. What's with the YouTube links to the fanfic? I thought this was a book. Okay, so apparently SONICPHOBIA put music with this one because like they assembled like a whole soundtrack. Okay, this is page 22. Yeah, here we go. It's a smart idea to click on the links because the story and the music prevalent in the chapters go hand in hand. Plus, they give you a very good idea of what's going on in the main character's mind. So yeah, they put music with this fanfic, basically. So that's what the links are. They're just songs. But I'm not gonna play them because they're more likely copyrighted. Barnaby cackled maniacally, forcing my jaw open. I felt something akin to having helium pushed into my body. I collapsed onto the ground, dizzy as that wicked ghost owl slid into my body. I briefly black out, only waking up to when the talon that was forcibly holding my jaw open slid inside. I shake my head, trying to get my bearings. Barnaby is nowhere to be seen, huh? Where'd that slippery son of a... I began wondering, but I was interrupted by a new voice. My little sweet owlet. Language. They think this is a movie. Yes. I hear a new voice say in my head. It was terrifying and familiar. I glance around frantically, running to a mirror. I froze in horror at what I saw. I saw that my skin was black. My eyes were a startling shade of orange with yellow sclera, and my vest changed from blue to hot pink. I was wearing a matching bow tie. I opened my mouth to say something, only to find the inside of my mouth yellow. Now that I am possessing you, I can clearly see your soul, Allison, or should I say Octavia Yenshuf. You're going to be perfect tonight, darling. I will free you from that dreadful vessel that calls itself Allison May Black. She tried to hide you, stifle you. Teddy's here, Octavia. I hear Barnaby mock. This was way too overstimulating for me. So I start pacing frantically, patting my face, trying to pull my hair. Welcome home, Octavia. I hear Barnaby hoot with a seeming smugness. I start walking the halls, and I find myself face to face with David. I tried to warn him, Dave, but my voice sounded weird. It sounded as if Barnaby's voice and my voice molded together, like two people speaking from the same mouth. Dave narrowed eyes, instantly aware of the situation. He immediately tried to pin me down. Classic move. I dodged, only to have him pin me against the wall. The sensation was unpleasant, to say the least. I feel dizzy as Barnaby forcefully takes over my body. I gripped his hand and flipped him. Even though the movement was jerky, sloppy, almost as if I was a puppet on a string. Silly mortal, you have zero idea of what you are messing with. His voice nearly drowned out my own. It's okay, my sweet. I will protect you with all my strength. You're my darling owlet. I will not let some silly boy hurt you, my sweet owlet. Barnaby crooned in my mind. I felt something chilly gently stroke my love endorphins in my brain. I shiver. That momentary distraction earned me a punch to the jaw. sister. Barnaby screeched with my mouth. He immediately puppeteered my body to do some karate moves. I silently pleaded, Barnaby, stop. My brother is misguided. Don't hurt him. My sweet, naive outlet. He is not your brother. You were an only daughter. My personal favorite. This is just a foolish mortal trespasser. Barnaby responded sternly as he kept making me fight my brother. Tears poured down my eyes as I was forced to fight my brother. I could sort of see my little friend group to one side, hiding and watching this go down. Lane screamed, Allie, you're stronger than this. Fight Barnaby, not your brother. Aaliyah shouted, Allie, we believe in you. My brother screamed, get out of my kid, sister. Nobody picks on my sister except for me. He dodged several of the moves that my possessed state delivered. My possessed state got a few successful hits, including one to the dick. How Barnaby knew that was a human weakness, I will never know, and that will remain a mystery to solve elsewhere. David finally got the upper hand, delivering an uppercut. I black out, unaware that the punch would knock Barnaby free from my body. My ears rang, and Barnaby was flying out of my body like a black waterfall. I dizzily got up to my feet, coughing up blood and feathers. My friends ran out and grabbed me, pulling me away. I noticed that Thomas was completely absent. I croaked weakly. Where's Thomas? I felt dizzy and in pain. I'll have to assess the damage later. God damn it, Dave. That was not the time to play hero or badass Marine. I silently cussed my brother as we ran away. It was 6 a.m. The time the party was supposed to end. Ghosts are weak in sunlight, I hoped as we ran outside. We made it outside, only to be completely surrounded by angry Barnaboos. I look around, dismayed. Imagine a bunch of orange boos looking at you. That's exactly what angry Barnaboos staring at you angrily look like. Oh my god, you said angry 3 times in the same sentence. Barnaby cackling like the insane murder bird he is. Right before I hear a female voice yell, Aristotle, down there, right in front of the manor. I glance up to see the strangest sight. Thomas was riding a flying umbrella, while with him was another passenger, what appeared to be a light purple goat. Her bell gleamed in the gray dawn, and we can see what appeared to be a pink axolotl flying next to her. The 8 on his head glowed as he tossed a rope. I grabbed the rope along with my brother and friends. I watched as the goat yelled, Barnaby, please. Then she flew away with Lane and Aaliyah. I felt my brother's strong arms wrap around me right before he threw me at the axolotl. I was about to grab my brother when I heard something like someone being stabbed. Dave froze, his eyes widening. He glanced down at his fatigues, which were stained with blood. He stared at me, then down again. He gingerly touched the glowing red stain in his military fatigues. Allison, go home and tell Mom I died bravely, he said, collapsing to his knees. The color drained from his face as he fell down. I see Daddy. My time is here, he rasped. Before he took his last breath and said this, tell Mommy and my girlfriend I died protecting you. I love you, Allison made black. Then his eyes stared past me as I flew away, forever staring at nothing. His face permanently etched in a small smile as the color and life slowly vanished. Barnaby was laughing as my brother stared at me. My brother was never going to be blinking again, or teasing me again, or breathing, or loving. I know that David was an asshole, but he was still my brother. I loved my brother even if he was a stubborn asshole sometimes.
myself, or that horrible ghost Alfredus. I screamed at the top of my lungs as we flew away. David. I was in hysterics as we flew away out of that dreadful pocket dimension. We have to go back, I begged the axolotl. We have to bring him home, please. Allison, is it? You can't go back to the pocket dimension to retrieve your brother. The axolotl had a wise, plummy voice to him, but I caught traces of sadness. I tried to argue, but since he silenced me with a golden bubble to my mouth, which left me letting out muffled screaming in vain. Allison, I'm sorry. Your brother is dead. He died saving you. I saw him throw you to me right as Barnaby's rusty knife stabbed him. Chapter 8. Remorseful Terror. How the fuck did Barnaby get a jump on a Marine? Marines are trained to kill. Once we flew to safety outside of that horrible pocket dimension, I was a total wreck of a human girl. I had somehow broken loose from that bubble, screaming and swearing at anyone close by who was willing to listen. Soon, everyone ignored me, opting to wait until we landed. I tried to run back to that manor to get my brother from that awful place, but I was grabbed roughly by both Aaliyah and Lane. I wailed, "We have to go back, he needs us." They stopped me, hugging me tightly. I was broken down to a sobbing, screaming mess, a rarity that does not happen publicly often. I felt that as if someone had stabbed me in the heart with a stinging nettle. I knew that I am David's only family in this area, and that I had to organize a memorial gathering. I was broken in tears when I started writing his memoir on my phone. I had typed out what I planned on saying about my brother, tears stinging with my eyes. The purple goat from earlier sat next to me. "What you doing?" she asked, reading over my shoulder. I nearly elbowed her in the face for that. "Hey, I was chased by pirates, puppets, and ghosts. Let me read it." She protested, trying to reach for me. I stopped her with yet another gentle elbow. "Billy, leave her alone. She's going through a rough time since that poor thing has just lost her brother," the axolotl scolded. He gently patted me on the back. "I'm sorry for your loss, Allison," he added, a much more gentler tone. I started looking for the perfect way to remember my brother. I stopped. I remembered that I was far from home. The axolotl patted my back, trying to calm me down, rubbing me gently. "Allie, I have something for you," I hear Thomas say softly. I turned to look at him, only to see him holding a folded up United States flag. "We were originally going to burn this for you in the off chance that you died by his hand, but we decided that it was better to have a funeral pyre for your brother," as he said as tears fogged my glasses. I hugged Thomas tightly as I was sobbing brokenly in Thomas's arms. That night was the night we had his funeral pyre. We gathered around an empty coffin, a total insult to his burial, but Aristotle made it clear he was dead and I'm not allowed to retrieve the body. I started the eulogy. David Thomas Black was an honorable Marine, a goofball of a brother, and a loyal friend. And I started strong, but that quickly broke down with me reminiscing about my childhood with him, breaking down into a mangled mess. He was the best friend and the one enemy I did not want to see die. I finally shrieked, falling to the ground, screaming and throwing a hissy fit. It was not fair that he died because of me. He should have lived a long, happy life and settled down with his loving girlfriend. I should have been the one that died. I screamed, rocking really hard, flapping my hands in agitation. I was unaware that I was performing yet another maladaptive behavior and throwing a hissy fit, even though I was right. It should have been me who had died and not my brother. What if this is like
exactly like Christian, where it's like a actual real event happened, and SONICPHOBIA is just like tweaking it to their own benefit. If this was an actual event that happened, um, I don't know what I think about it. I forced myself to breathe, realizing that I was using maladaptive behavior. Then I righted myself by standing. I saw the empty coffin mock me. I placed a handful of flowers that I picked earlier in the coffin. And I start building the kindling. Thomas hands me the flag, his face solemn. I look up and I say to God, "Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, the creator of the universe. Please make sure David gets home to the pearly gates. I'm blessed and thankful that he saved my life, and I ask for him to be reunited with my dad." My throat sounded tight with emotion, and I got no answer from God aside from a gentle breeze. Then I started reciting the Pledge of Allegiance as I placed the flag on the coffin and set it on fire. The whole coffin burned. I drew on my skin intricate designs, and in the open spaces I wrote the day of the dead loved ones I had were born and died. I was sobbing as I wrote David's birth and death date. The axolotl, who I learned is Aristotle, placed a hand on my shoulder. Allison, it's okay to be sad, but I think you need something more than to be alone. And writing on your skin is bad for you. When all is said and done, we'll get markings done for you, permanent ones. I stood, and I turned to sing. I sang the most heart-wrenching song that I could think of to make my grief known. I sang Death by Melanie Martinez, my voice and lip trembling as I sang. Then I paused and realized that this was inappropriate for David. He needs something he likes. So I sang In My Life by the Beatles. My friends joined in. My voices rang in the night. Even though it would have sounded much better if David was here, it was heart-wrenching to those who are in the know. Then I hear something that I never thought was possible. I hear David's voice join with us. I whipped my head around to see if I was just in a bad dream. All I saw was a Barnaboo wearing a military hat. He said in David's voice a total punch in the gut to me, "Octavia, Baron Barnaby wants you to come home. His party starts soon." He placed a black envelope in my lap. There was Barnaby's telltale symbol on this address, an outline of his head. I sobbed, placing my head between my knees and rocking again. Leah grabbed the invitation and burned it. "Barnaby's going to lose it," David grumbled, flying away. None of that. Nice try. I'm wondering if the brother died in combat. If that's the case, it would explain the brief introduction and empty coffin. I don't think Sonic saw their brother in the coffin due to heavy damage. Yeah. That could be it. I screamed back. He lost it ages ago. David didn't answer. He was gone. I shake my head. David could not have saved my life just to betray me. I stuttered.
furrowed in rage. Your brother just threw you under the bus. Dude, stop. Fucking UTTB tard. Your brother just threw you under the bus. Guess being dead means that you immediately become a traitor to everyone who you've loved. I grumble bitterly as I try to wipe my tears away. I couldn't look at the burning pyre a minute longer, so Aristotle took me to a bar, which was not a good idea, but he was trying his best to comfort me at an emotional, distressing time. When I tried to point out that I don't have a means to pay, that it was not a good idea to get drunk and emotional at the same time, he hushed me and handed me a butter rum shot. I downed it easily, now really buzzed. He got me 3 more, and I was drunk. After singing a few shanties, songs that I knew David liked, and reminiscing about David's most funny mishaps, I spotted a stranger. You're not funny and nobody likes you. Singing a few shanty songs I knew David liked, and reminiscing about David's most funny mishaps, I spotted a stranger wearing a black hood. I drunkenly stumble over to the stranger, unaware that the red flags were present. I drunkenly start reminiscing about my past and my brothers to the stranger, who nodded enthusiastically. I didn't notice that the stranger's cloak was hot pink with white skulls sewn on the bottom, nor did I see the orange gem glowing like a stoplight. I feel the stranger hug me as I drunkenly ramble. Only when the stranger wrapped his wings around me and closed the cloak around me was when I realized my deadly mistake. I looked up to see the unmistakable pair of swirling golden eyes gazing at me as the beak mouth grinning with sinister intent. I screamed, breaking loose for the stranger, and drunkenly stumbled Aristotle. Via, do not talk to strangers, Barnaby scolded as he tried to stop me. Aristotle, my brother's killer, he's here. I screamed drunkenly. Barnaby tried to stop me, wrapping me in his cloak, revealing his black feathers and physique. That didn't stop me, instead it made me more scared. Okay, 27 to 69. There's 69 of these pages. So, these guys are like over 20 and doing this. That's amazing. How these guys are over 20, typing the N word in my chat is it's funny. You guys aren't funny. Grow up. You motherfuckers are hitting 30. And you
policeman on the internet is like funny. So this is 27 to 69. I'll do a part 2 of this because this is long and it's getting kind of late. It's 4:25 over here. So yeah, go ahead and end it right here because we've been at this for about 2 to 3 hours. So go ahead and switch to my end screen.
Check it out, I'm in the house like carpet. And if there's too many heads in my blunt, I won't spark it out. Put it in my pocket and save it like rocket fuel. To everybody's got and it's cool, then I spark it up with my brother. His mama named him Moan, what I call a Moan lover. And he's more than a cover, he's a quilt. We're putting shit together like the house that John built on a hill. Cause this you're gonna feel like velvet turtle. My style fits tighter than a girdle. If you hate it, then you can just leave it like Beaver. But in a day or two I'll make you a true believer in me. Cause like the alphabet you'll see, there isn't kits or rhyme, not your everyday soliloquy. Like Chef 4RD, our rhyme is truly cooking. Piece of Matty Rich, cause he's straight out of Brooklyn, New York. I don't eat pork or swine when I dine. I drink a cup of Kool-Aid, not a big glass of wine or rocket. And if you have time, I'll drop rhyme again.